Available for free download, the KOAM News Now app is on iOS and Android.
This is the current state of the Erie market as the future of the city-owned grocery store is brought into question once more. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
Plus, a federal investigation is underway after a plane flips at the Grove Regional Airport.
The doors are open, the bell has rung, and the classes are filled. School is back open here at Soaring Heights Elementary. Tonight, I will talk to the principal about what it takes to keep this running so smoothly.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The future of a city-owned grocery store in Erie, Kansas is up in the air once again. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The city purchased the Erie market in 2020 with the goal of keeping a local store in town. Now, 1 year ago, River Grocery LLC leased the store and took over operations. But as KOAM's Samantha Walker reports, the company plans to close the store's doors at the end of the month.
In less than 2 weeks, the doors of the Erie market are expected to close once more. The store, formerly known as Stubbs, was purchased by the city of Erie when its owners decided to retire. The decision was controversial, but the hope was to keep a market in town.
As far as buying meat and produce, there's no place to go within 20 miles.
But the city has struggled to operate the Erie market since the purchase. Last year, city staff told KOAM owning the store is difficult and costly for the city, so the best thing for its future in town was to let someone else take over. 1 year ago, River Grocery LLC began leasing the market and took over operations. At that time, the company's owner told us he understood the importance of rural grocery stores from when one in his hometown closed.
The whole town just basically died. Even the school, there's not even a school in town anymore. And so just for whatever reason, I feel like it's the right thing to do.
But store staff were recently informed the company is going to cease operations by the end of August, when River Grocery's 1 year lease with the city expires.
I figured that they would stay. I didn't think it was going to close. I wanted to stay open for the community.
Staff and customers say while the closure is surprising, they've noticed shelves become more and more bare over the past few months.
We haven't had a truck for about 90 days or more.
I reached out to the city of Erie, and city staff confirmed that the city does maintain ownership of the market property, but that they're still trying to learn more about these operational changes. Community members now worry about the future of the market and their access to fresh and affordable groceries.
I guess if they have the money with the economy nowadays to drive to Schnute or Parsons to get groceries, then go for it. I don't. I'm on Social Security. I got hurt last year. I only have a little bit of money, so I try to do all my business in Erie.
The community now fears this is the end of the store, a blow for the town.
Right now, the impact for the town will be not so much because we've gotten used to going out of town to buy our groceries, but it's going to be difficult to attract people to move to town because there's no grocery store, and you have to have groceries.
Do you see it having a future here?
No, I see an empty building setting right across the street. This town's going to turn into a ghost town.
Reporting in Erie, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
We reached out to the owner of River Grocery LLC for a statement. He agreed, but we are still waiting for him to send one. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Yeah, and it was still hot outside today, but it was cooler than what we have seen over the past couple days. We were into lower 90s. Lower 90s sticking around as we go through the next several days, but the humidity is a little bit lower, which is great to see. Much cooler next week. We're talking about temperatures below average. Average high is 90. Next week it's about 89, and some rain chances. Some as we get through next week. Not much going on for us right now. Through the night, pretty quiet, mostly clear skies. We'll dip back into the upper 60s to near 70. As we go into the afternoon, I think most of us, again, about 90 to about 92 degrees. We're in the upper 70s out there for us right now, so it's fairly comfortable, a little bit warmer northeastern parts of Oklahoma. 91 was our high today, average high 90, pretty close to where we should be. We're going to be talking about that cool down here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. A federal investigation is underway after a plane crashes in Grove, Oklahoma this morning. It happened around 8:30 at the Grove Regional Airport. Authorities say the privately owned plane landed at the airport and then flipped over onto its top. The owner, who is also the pilot of the fixed-wing single-engine plane, suffered non-life-threatening injuries. A serious rollover crash in Jasper County lands 4 people in an area hospital. It happened Tuesday afternoon at County Road 170 and Fur Road HH. Troopers say a large truck hauling lawnmowers lost control when across the roadway to the left before overturning in a large valley. Well, Joplin Public Schools start the school year today. KOAM's Ty Parks was at Soaring Heights Elementary when the doors opened this morning and brings us this story.
Kind of exciting, kind of scary, mostly exciting.
The bell rings again at Soaring Heights Elementary and the students are back in class. All of this takes months of behind-the-scenes work.
Preparation for the first day is huge. So we start months in advance, planning out our master schedule, making sure that all students have equity to access and instruction. We also start setting goals together as a team to decide what we're going to focus on this year. And then the teachers start showing up several weeks in advance to prepare classrooms so that they're absolutely perfect learning environments for all of our kids.
Students file in, but today is about learning something different than math and science.
Today we are remembering what it means to be a student and that we have to share our building with over 500 people. So we're used to doing what we want when we want at home, but at school we have to remember that we have to share space. So today is all about remembering what our expectations at school to stay safe and to stay learning.
Teachers invest heavily in the future of their students.
So my teachers have leaned in very heavily into we want Soaring Heights students to be the leaders at East Middle School, and then we want them to be the leaders at the Joplin High School, and we want our kids to stay in Joplin and be community leaders in the future. So it is a big investment at our school.
Like a well-oiled machine.
My 5th year at Soaring Heights, and I have already had 5 teachers tell me this is our best first day ever, and it's not even midway through the day. So all of the practice paid off. Everybody feels very confident today.
I know people. You play games to get to know everyone and learn procedures and stuff.
At Soaring Heights, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
The students will continue to learn what it takes to share the building with more than 500 students, and then the classwork begins. Well, coming up, Texas redistricting.
Tension on the Texas House floor as representatives argue over a new congressional map that favors the GOP. I'm Connor Hansen with more details on what they had to say coming up.
But up first, for the first time, you can give yourself the flu vaccine at home. Learn how this easy DIY shot works.
With Toyota's national sales event, you can take your next tailgate anywhere.
Right now, lease the 2025 RAV4 for just $349 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
For the first time this flu season, many Americans will have the option to give themselves the flu vaccine. Flu Mist is now approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for use at home, and it can be ordered online. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on how this new vaccine works.
It's the only nasal spray flu vaccine in the U.S. FDA approved for use at home. Flu Mist Home can be self-administered by adults under 50 and can be given to children as young as 2.
It's delivered with cold packs in a cold chain shipping model, and actually one of the great steps is when you receive your dose, there's a temperature tag that gets scanned to ensure that it's stayed in the right temperature throughout the entire shipping process and that it's safe and ready to use.
The vaccine nasal spray is now available for home delivery in 34 states. It can be ordered online after a brief medical screening questionnaire, which will be reviewed by a licensed healthcare provider before the vaccine is prescribed. It's covered by most commercial insurance companies with a fee of $8.99 for shipping and handling.
It's quite easy to administer. All they do is take it out of its packaging, put it into one nostril, spray the device, remove a clip from the middle, and then spray it into the other nostril.
Last flu season was unusually severe. Preliminary estimates from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention suggest that between October 2024 and May 2025, there were up to 82 million illnesses, 1.3 million hospitalizations, and 130,000 deaths from flu. At the same time, the CDC says less than half of kids and adults in the U.S. had gotten gotten an annual flu vaccine.
Knowing that they can bring FluMist home right into their home and vaccinate on their schedule, the time they want, no waiting in line, makes it very manageable.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
In a break with current recommendations from the Centers for Disease Control, another medical group says infants and young children should get COVID-19 vaccine shots. The American Academy of Pediatrics says all children 6 to 23 months should get vaccinated unless they have known allergies, and a single dose for some kids ages 2 to 18. This while the CDC argues COVID-19 shots for kids 6 months to 17 years should be, quote, based on shared clinical decision making. Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, a crackdown on crime.
President Trump's crime crackdown in the nation's capital is heating up, with rewards now on the table. I'm Rebecca Castor with the latest on the federal takeover just ahead.
And we have a cooler start to next week. I'll have those details at 7 a.m.
Well, it turned out to be a hot one for us today, but cooler than what we've seen over the past couple days, which we will definitely take that temperatures for us today into lower 90s, right about where we should be for this time of the year. We had a few isolated thunderstorms earlier along that Missouri-Arkansas border. Those are gone. We're going to stay dry as we go through the night. Let me walk you through time. Here's what you need to know or should expect as we go through about the next 48 hours or so. Temperatures upper 60s to near 70 to kick off your Thursday. Quick warm up, mid 80s by noon, light northeasterly wind kicking in. And again, tomorrow afternoon, there could be 1 or 2 isolated storms. So few, I'm not going to put it in the forecast. We're just going to verbally say it. High temps about 90 to about 92. Tomorrow night, pretty calm. We drop back again. Upper 60s, actually mid 60s, so it's actually going to feel pretty good when you get up Friday morning. Friday afternoon, those cumulus clouds pop up again. I think most of us 90 to about 92 degrees. Now, we are going to get some clouds in here by Saturday morning. We have a cold front heading toward us. It's going to take a couple days for that cooler air to get in, but we'll start that downward descent as we go through the weekend. 68 to start, 86 by noon. High temp, 92 on your Thursday. Great shot. See that light breeze. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam. Temperatures right now upper 70s to near 80 degrees. Dew points, it's dropped a little bit, but they're still up there, about 70 degrees. So it still feels a little sticky, a little muggy as well. So our heat index over the next couple days is going to be much closer to the actual temperature. So it's going to feel like lower 90s tomorrow. It's going to feel like low to mid 90s once again as we go into Friday afternoon. So what's going on? Our high pressure, our big heat dome, has shifted out toward the west. This has allowed a little bit less humid air to sink in over the past couple days. And as we go into the weekend, that high pressure continues to shift off toward the west. Now look at this. We get some upper level waves that rotate in. This should give us some rain chances. We're not in the prime spot to get heavy rain as of right now, but some rain chances earlier next week. But as these waves kind of shift in, it keeps much cooler air in place as we go really through most of the next week. Let's look at the weekend. Lower 90s Saturday, random shower or thunderstorm popping up, and then upper 80s to near 90 on Sunday, and we'll continue to cool off a bit as we go into next week. So check this out, 92s Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 88 Sunday, 79 Monday, 78 Tuesday, lower 80s Wednesday, Thursday, 79 again Friday. So last week of August, feeling more like September.
Well, I'm digging the 70-degree temperatures, even though it's like only 1 or 2 off from 80. That means a lot mentally.
I agree.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, as the school year kicks off, students at George Nettles Elementary in Pittsburgh celebrate with a House of Dragon balloon popping party. Now, the celebration is part of a redesign of the school's social, emotional, and character education program, drawing inspiration from the themes of How to Train Your Dragon and Harry Potter. The kids were full of excitement as they discovered which of the 4 houses they'll belong to during their time at the school. Educators hope the program gives students a sense of community throughout their years at George Nettles.
Community where students are embraced in a group where they will stay from kindergarten to 5th grade.
Educators hope to continue the House of Dragon program as it will assist students of all ages. Well, coming up next, with back-to-school prices rising, more families are turning to secondhand shopping to stretch their budgets and find quality gear. We're going to show you the best ways to score great deals and stretch your dollars this school year. With the cost of most goods on the rise, including clothing and school supplies, about half of back-to-school shoppers started earlier this year. Now, if you didn't already get a jump on it, Fox's Tanya J. Powers has more ways to save money as the school year gets underway.
On average, K-12 students are spending just under $250 each on back-to-school clothing, according to the National Retail Federation. But some are hoping to slash that price tag by opting to shop secondhand instead.
Secondhand shopping is big for me. I'm doing a lot of eBay, Poshmark.
Shoppers today are smart and they're intentional.
Parents are going to thrift stores, at home searching online resale retailers, and heading to pop-up consignment events like Just Between Friends to buy pre-owned clothes to outfit their children for the new school year at a fraction of the price.
If you take, for example, a $100 budget that a parent might have for one of their children, that could buy a couple of outfits, but you take that same $100 and you use that in a secondhand or a thrift store environment, and that $100 can buy an entire wardrobe for a full season.
While you can get quality, name brand items, many with the tag still attached, it's not just clothing. Parents and students can thrift most of their back-to-school shopping list.
You can find backpacks, lunch boxes, sports cleats, new dance shoes. We know all of those things also start up again in the fall. Musical instruments, calculators. It is like a one-stop shop on a budget.
Largely, people shop secondhand to stretch those back-to-school bucks, but it also helps preserve the planet, with millions of tons of unwanted clothes tossed in the trash each year.
In addition, there's also a growing awareness among consumers that shopping secondhand is really good for the planet. And so it is keeping all of that stuff out of landfills by giving them a second life. And that feels good for consumers.
In New York, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Well, coming up next, Lamar, Missouri kicks off its free fair with carnival fun and local booths. We take you to the fun. Fun times at the 82nd Annual Lamar Free Fair today. Patrons enjoyed the carnival and rides, a gospel sing, 4-H youth demonstrations, food trucks, and livestock shows. Now, the schedule for the rest of the fair includes several events and exhibitions, like a swine show, a Lamar Art League exhibition, a goat show, a youth livestock judging contest, and music from the Griffin family.
Just the food. And seeing all my friends here. Not a big town, so not much people get out a lot, so it's fun to see everybody around.
There is no admission charge to get in, but ride tickets are available at the fair and can also be purchased for $20 at Community National Bank and Trust in Lamar, Arvest Bank, and Citizens Bank. The fair runs through Saturday night. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Sparks fly in the Texas House as lawmakers clash over a new congressional map that could shift power in Washington. And crime in the nation's capital. The White House says federal control is working, but many D.C. residents say it's gone too far.
Check out Little Balkan and Tiny Town, Arkansas. See us today.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. After more than 2 weeks of protests, Texas Democrats returned to the State House for a vote on redistricting. It's become a national issue that could impact the outcome of next year's midterm elections. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has more from New York.
As fired up protesters chanted in the Texas Capitol Rotunda, inside, the sparks flew on the Texas House floor as state representatives argue over a new congressional map.
If I attempt to leave this chamber today without signing a permission slip, am I subject to arrest by the government?
No one will be able to leave the chamber without a permission slip.
The proposed map would likely hand over 5 additional House seats to the GOP before next year's midterms.
House Bill 4 is an illegal and racially discriminatory congressional map, and this body has no business passing it.
Democrats introduced a series of amendments trying to strike down the bill. One even tried to tie the bill to the release of all files related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. Republicans defended the new map, backed by Governor Greg Abbott and President Trump.
The underlying goal of this plan is straightforward: improve Republican political performance.
After Texas Democrats traveled to blue states in protest, other governors said they are ready to redistrict to balance the map. California's Gavin Newsom, trying to boost spirits, says a new map for the Golden State could help create 5 new seats for Democrats.
We have your back. Everything you're doing today, it's fire and fury.
The California legislature is expected to vote on its new map Thursday. It would also have to be approved by voters in a special election in November. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Well, people applying to live or work in the U.S. will now face questions about what the Trump administration calls, quote, anti-Americanism. Authorities say that includes an expanded social media check. They say immigration officers will look for, quote, any involvement in anti-American or terrorist organizations or, quote, evidence of anti-Semitic activity. Immigration advocates and lawyers criticize the move. They argue it could deter people from coming to the U.S. President Trump's crime crackdown in the nation's capital is heating up, with U.S. Marshals now offering a reward for tips leading to arrest. The Department of Justice also launched an investigation to find out if city officials are lowballing their crime stats. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor explains.
Vice President J.D. Vance and the Secretary of Defense meeting with National Guard soldiers deployed in D.C. as the federal takeover of the city's police force continues.
In just the past 9 days, we've seen a 35% reduction in violent crime. We've seen over a 50% reduction in robberies. We are seeing really substantial effects.
Troops from 6 red states, including West Virginia, South Carolina, and Louisiana, are arriving in the nation's capital to deter crime simply with their presence. But the city's mayor thinks it's gone a bit too far.
I don't think the National Guard should be used for law enforcement. They have to be used on their, on mission-specific items that benefit the nation.
As of Wednesday, there have been more than 550 arrests and 76 illegal guns taken off the streets. Now the U.S. Marshals are offering $500 rewards for tips leading to more arrests.
I think it's a good idea to a certain extent.
There's not enough crime in the city to warrant a federal tip line being set up.
The city's data does show crime is at a 30-year low, but the Department of Justice is investigating claims that the police force manipulated its stats.
We know that D.C. has been an incredibly unsafe place to live for a very long time.
A Washington Post poll finds that most D.C. residents are strongly against the federal takeover, and 65% say they don't think it will make the city safer. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later cracking down on trashy neighborhoods.
Iola leader says it's time to clean up your yards. They say either you do it or they'll do it at your expense. I'm Lonnie Walton in Iola. I'll have that story coming up.
More Labor Day Buy More Save More sale is going on with Connect to Culture and Spiva Center for the Arts.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Wednesday for us today. Still hot, of course it is August, but a little bit cooler than what we have seen over the past couple days. Had a few random little thunderstorms that popped up Kansas-Missouri state line earlier this evening. Those are gone. That means nice and calm as we go through the rest of the night tonight. All right, let me walk you through time. Upper 60s to near 70 to kick off your Thursday. Partly cloudy skies. Can't rule out one shower popping up. 99% of you will stay on the dry side. Mid-80s by noon, and then I think we'll top out 90 to about 92. Very similar to what we saw today, plus the humidity is not going to be out of control. As we go into Friday morning, here's 6:30 in the morning, mid-60s. so feeling pretty comfortable. And then Friday afternoon, about 90 to 92 once again during the afternoon hours. 68 to start, 86 by noon. Let's go with a high temp. 92 degrees. Looks great. This is our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. We're looking at a little bit of a light breeze, but clear skies up top. Upper 70s still, but again, we'll drop off another 10 degrees or so. Humidity lower, still high. We're looking at like 65 to 70 on dew points. So if we look at the scale, that means sticky to muggy, but better than soupy that we have been dealing with. So as we go into Thursday, our heat index, the way it feels to your skin, is going to be much closer to our afternoon high temperatures, which is great. Here's why we've cooled down a bit. So way out here, this is our big heat dome, our big dome of high pressure. It shifted off toward the west, so it allows some Canadian air to kind of flow off toward the south, which is great news. Look where the high pressure hangs out over the next week. It stays way to the west. Look at these little waves kicking in. So here's Sunday. We got a second wave that kicks in Tuesday into Wednesday. So it keeps us very comfortable all next week, and you don't see the big high building back in until probably the first week of September, and hopefully it's not as pronounced. So that's good news. Let's go through the weekend. Chance for rain with a cold front on Saturday. The cold air is going to lag behind it. Will still be about 90 to 92. Any rain chances, hit, miss storms. Not a washout. Upper 80s to near 90 on Sunday. But look at this. Upper 70s, lower 80s Monday, Tuesday of next week. So that's good. We do want some rain. Most of it looks to be to our southwest. But we have some time for that to alter next 5 or 6 days. Here's Aaron still clocking winds category 2 of 110 miles per hour. Just skirts the North Carolina coast, but won't make a direct landfall in the lower 48. 92s next several days, 88 Sunday, 79, 78 Monday, Tuesday. Next week looks fantastic.
You know, chance for storms here and there. So
got it.
There you go. Not a bad forecast, Doug.
No.
All right,
I worked hard.
Still ahead, New Heights football heads into the season with a new quarterback under center. Plus, Carthage football looks to replicate its successful 2024 season. Sports director Ryan Blank has those stories and more up next in sports.
Carthage football is coming off a successful season, finishing with a 9-2 record and an appearance in the district championship game. The Tigers will look to repeat that success in 2025 with lots of new faces across the field. Only 2 starters returned for Carthage on offense, but head coach John Guidey stresses that despite having 9 new starters, this Tigers squad will retain the same identity.
To be honest, last year was last year. This is a brand new year, and we have new faces, and that's what makes every year a little bit different. I don't think you change too much as a coach from year to year. You want to keep things as consistent as possible from everything, from your summer workouts to your summer practices to your conditioning to even scheme-wise, as long as things are working.
But don't think that this will be an inexperienced Carthage football team, because on the defensive side, 8 players return with varsity experience. And that's huge for a unit that allowed less than 18 points per game last season, as the Tigers will rely heavily on their experience and leadership.
Defensively, I think that starts with our guys up front. Landon Bland will be a 3-year starter for us at defensive end. Very athletic, nice, tall, lanky kid, fast, comes off the edge. Opposite him on the other side at defensive end is Braden Odell, kind of the same way. You know, I thought Braden had an outstanding year last year. All 3 linebackers are back. Josh Hill at Mike Backer. We got Jordan Brunert at the Sam, and we've got Jet Dalton at the Will.
Carthage opens up its season on August 29th at home against Waynesville. The New Heights Cougars are entering their 4th year as a program, with sights set on building off of a 500 season in 2024. But this year's team will look a lot different, with only 3 players on the roster in either their junior or senior seasons. The Cougars enter this year as one of the youngest teams in the 4 states, and they'll have to learn fast. That's why head coach John Lucas is having the team focus on the fundamentals.
We're very young. This year we have 2 seniors, 1 junior, and the rest are sophomores and freshmen. So we're gonna run basics. We need to be able to run the football, control the line of scrimmage, and that's an area of strength that we have this year. I do believe is up front.
New Heights will rely on their seniors to make big impacts on and off the field. And one of those key veterans is quarterback Corbin Cronenwet. This will be his first season under center, but he's been a starter for the Cougars the past couple of seasons.
Mindset going into each game is just being a leader, encouraging the guys, because they can, it's a team sport. We got to support each other as much as possible. Just be supportive and have fun while at it, because live life with no regrets.
Putting my hardest work in, because in the Bible it says work everything with your heart. If you're your hardest, and that's just how this team operates. You got to give our hardest every practice.
The Cougars kick off their season on the road against Rich Hill on Friday, August 29th. Folks, the wait is over. The 30th edition of the Pigskin Preview is now live. You can scan the QR code on your screen, head to koamnewsnow.com/pigskin, or download our free KOAM News mobile app to view it. When you're there, you'll see logos for all the teams showcased in the preview, ranging from high schools in Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma, to the junior colleges and universities in our region. You'll see quotes from coaches, schedules, season outlooks, and much more. And as the season starts, you'll find our live scoreboard to keep you updated on the action every Friday night. You'll also find highlights as we hit the ground running to area games. The Royals and Cardinals are hot to start the week, with sights set on keeping it going as St. Louis entered Wednesday with a shot at the sweep, while the Royals look to secure their series against the Rangers. Cardinals looking to complete the sweep of the Miami Marlins, but fall short with a 6-2 loss in the finale. Lars Nootbaar led the way with a multi-hit performance and RBI on the day. Andre Palante, however, struggled in his 5 1/3 innings, surrendering 5 runs in the loss. The Cards, they'll battle the Rays tomorrow night. The Royals looking for their 6th straight win to secure their 4-game set against Texas and are currently tied in the 9th inning 3-3. Vinny Pasquantino hitting another home run, his 3rd straight game going yard. We'll have an update in the 10 on this one, and the Royals moving forward as they have a chance to get within a game and a half of the wild card. On Wednesday, the Chiefs parted ways with wide receiver Sky Moore, trading the former 2nd-round draft pick and a 2027 7th-round draft pick to the San Francisco 49ers for a 2027 6th-round pick. In his 3 years with the Chiefs, Moore tallied 43 receptions for 494 yards and a touchdown. Football season's starting to feel more and more real. The Chiefs making some moves, but the 30th annual Pigskin Preview's live, so I'm starting to get that sense that football's right here. It's coming.
I know our KOAM team has put in so much work into this Pigskin Preview, and there's a lot of stuff to look at in there.
There's about 65 high school teams. We got a couple colleges. Got to shout out our assistant news director, Stacy. She was incredible, helping us with kind of taking some stress off and doing a lot of the brunt work, but it's going to look good, and hopefully people are going to really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. And another thing to mention, our Friday night sports show, it starts next Friday, right?
Next Friday, we have the Friday night, four states Friday night, and then September 5th, press box comes when Kansas adds their games in. Next week, it's only Missouri and Oklahoma as they start their seasons.
But the seasons start next Friday.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. We're back with more news after this. Clean up your yard or the city will do it for you and you'll be picking up the tab. That's the new warning from city officials in Iola, Kansas, who say they're fed up with repeat offenders ignoring yard cleanup rules. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, after handing out fine after fine with little change, city leaders are now pushing for a tougher ordinance, one that would allow them to step in, clean up the mess, and send the bill straight to the homeowner.
Most of the stuff that's in the yard is not trash. We just need to find a place to put it.
Robin Evans is an Iowa resident. She says she's been getting a number of violations from the city about her yard. But Evans says she's going through some tough times.
We lost our shop last year. We moved everything from our house to our shop, and the building got bulldozed last year.
Evans says she's sick of the city giving her a hard time about her yard, but the city says they are too. They say they already have an ordinance in place, but it needs to be stricter.
We're adding to the ordinance clause
that will give the city the authority to go on the property and clean it up should the resident not comply with the court order.
I get that we need to clean up the trash. I understand that.
French says the offending resident will fit the bill if the city cleans their yard. And French says you better pay or else.
The debt will go on the property.
City Manager Matt Ryder says this ordinance needs to pass.
We do have some properties that get fined and fined and fined, and they just aren't being cleaned up. And this gives us the teeth to actually do that.
Request an additional 10 days if they need it to clean up their property. So we're trying to continue to work with individuals.
They have been harassing us for 8 years since we moved here. Any little thing that we have on our property, they are constantly sending us letters. If he has his trailer in the yard, he gets a letter for it.
And the family says they're doing all that they can to get things back in order. They say any professional that's willing to help, they would gladly appreciate it. Reporting in Iola, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
City manager says the ordinance goes before the council on Monday. He thinks the bill will have no problems passing. Up next, who really brings Zoltar's fortune to life? Find out the magic behind the animatronic legend. Curious about who brings the legendary fortune teller Zoltar to life? Fox's Victoria Saha steps behind the scenes at Characters Unlimited to introduce us to the man who turned this nostalgic arcade classic into a global sensation.
Wisdom is priceless.
And the man behind Zoltar's wisdom is Olaf Stanton, owner and founder of Characters Unlimited.
In 2006, we stumbled onto the Zoltar trademark, which they had not trademarked Zoltar since the movie in 1988.
Olaf, explain to me what goes into making Zoltar.
We start with making a cast of the head. That's made out of a rigid latex material, and then we send that to our guys that do the animation in it. Makes the eyes move, makes the mouth move, and then we got the body cavity, which has an arm movement and a head movement in it.
But before they made Zoltar, Stanton, a Wisconsin native, made and sold characters right out of his car.
Sometimes we'd have to sleep in the van because we didn't have a room or we didn't make a sale yet, but we started literally with nothing.
From nothing to a production house filled with different characters.
Hope I get on Channel 5 News.
The main attraction, of course, is Zoltar himself, with 4,000 of the fortune teller machines sold worldwide.
Why do you think it's gotten so popular?
Well, I think people have always been fascinated by fortune teller machines. I mean, it's like one of the oldest arcade games there is.
So, of course, I had to give it a try.
He who laughs last thinks slowest. Stay alert, my friend.
The heart of a grateful man is delighted to return a benefit received.
Okay, while I processed my fortune, Stanton says the orders for Zoltar are all different. This is a DJ Zoltar ready to be shipped out.
We're taking Zoltar to the next level.
Where do you think that next level is?
I just keep plugging along with hard work and perseverance, and you just take opportunities as they come.
And the worldwide name is backed up with the help of Stanton's children, helping make every order that comes in.
Zoltar is here to tell you you can believe it.
Believe it or not, it's all done right here in Boulder City, Nevada.
And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a rare liger cub born at a private zoo in Romania. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.